Welcome, everybody. What a wonderful Wednesday. How is everyone doing on the morning of our full moon? Jackie says, greetings, lovely people. Hello, Lucy. Christine says, happy Wednesday, Jackie and tribe. Elisa, good morning. Fiorella says, good morning. Jean, good morning, everyone. Song, good morning from San Francisco. Hello. Jeannie, good morning. Hello. Bonnie. Stephanie, hello. Yay. I'm excited. I made my notes for today, and I'm excited. Oh, and I did that thing again where I forgot to bring the music by the microphone. This is Calm Whale. They do a live YouTube stream for every lunar event. So this is their full moon live stream. Let's see who else. Good morning, Bianca. Christine, you look so much better today. Thank you. I actually think that has a lot to do with why I'm so excited for today. The universe cleared out my schedule Monday and Tuesday, and it was so nice. Thank you. I needed the rest for sure. I had a weird allergy thing happen on Sunday, and it lingered longer than it normally does. Monday I was on Insight Timer, and I was looking like a hot mess, feeling like a hot mess, but I am feeling better. Thank you, guys. Good morning, Greg. Jolie, hello. Happy full moon from Key West. That sounds warm and beautiful. Anik, hi, Jackie and friends. Karen, I'm putting it in the chat. You can look up Calm Whale on YouTube. And for every full moon and every new moon, they run a live stream. So it's nice. I have this kind of music. Like I have YouTube. It's usually Meditative Mind. I have it playing on our TV upstairs all day for the dogs and for the plants and just to have positive vibes running through my house. And I really appreciate the live streams because then it doesn't end and you don't have like the random commercials and then the TV doesn't go into that like purple screen where it's just paused and everything. Greg, if we get wolf again today, I would probably poop myself because I don't think there's any wolf cards in the decks that I chose for today. Oh, that's great. I don't know if I said hi to Elena. I can't remember, but hello if I haven't. Hi, Andrea. Thank you. Carmina, that's a cool throw on your couch. Thank you. It's an astrology blanket that glows in the dark. That's great. Sharon got up early today to cut the grass. A very productive day early today. Love it. Love it. Christine loves Calm Whale. Jen, hello, Jackie, and this incredible group of souls. Happy to be here. Happy to have you, Jen. And hello, Audra. All right, it's been a few minutes. I think I'm going to jump into this full moon discussion. Hello, Eloise from Australia. I love Australia. Never been. Definitely on my bucket list. Hello, Morgan, as well. So today, you may or may not have seen all over social media that today is a full blue supermoon in Pisces. It's a full moon because the sun and the moon are opposite of each other in the sky. The sun is at 7 degrees of Virgo, and the moon will be at 7 degrees of Pisces. This is happening this evening. In Central Time, it happens at 8:36 p.m. Central Time. So convert that to your time zone. That's when the sun and moon will be opposite at 7 degrees, sun in Virgo, moon in Pisces. This is considered a supermoon because the moon's orbit is closest to the Earth as the moon becomes full. So that's what makes it a supermoon. That's why when you look, if you've looked outside the last few nights, I don't know how different it's going to be based on where you are in the world, but like the moon is huge and it's so bright and it's gorgeous. It's just nice to look at. I was driving home last night, and I rarely drive when it's dark anyway, and it was just nice to like be illuminated by the moon, and I drove past this really big lake, and to see the moon like shining its reflection on the lake, I think that's like my favorite image in the whole world. So that is the supermoon. It just means that the moon is physically closer to the Earth. And the energies are closer. The full moon energies are closer to us, so they may be felt more strongly. And then this is also a blue moon. And the blue moon means that it is the second full moon within a calendar month. So we had a full moon on August 1st, and now we have a full moon that's also in August. So that is what dictates this whole full super blue moon. In my realm of social media, people have been losing their mind about this. It's everywhere, and everyone has all these messages about what this super blue moon in Pisces means. And typically with that kind of stuff, like, I'll glance over it. I'll just, like, give it a second of my time, because I feel like a lot of those posts are giving, like, unbased claims, and they're just listing random words that feel good and that get people excited about what's coming. To me, it feels kind of inauthentic, but people are, like, really losing their ish over this full supermoon. So I don't know. I like to take things pretty practical. I'm a Taurus. So I don't know. It doesn't mean a lot until you let it mean a lot. So I'm going to break down how this full moon sits with my astrological knowledge, and then I'll let you decide if this is like the full moon of the century or not. You know, like, I'm just encouraging you not to let social media tell you what has more importance than other events. I'm going to lay it all out, and then you can look, maybe look at your chart also. This full moon is at 7 degrees of Pisces, so the very beginning part of Pisces. The symbol for Pisces looks like two parentheses opposite of each other. Look, I didn't know my hands could bend that far, with a line through the middle horizontally. So you can look to your chart and just see if it's playing with your specific natal blueprint in any way, and that might feel more strong for you. Hello, Erica. Welcome back. Hello, Patty and Lori. Christine, maybe that's why I'm so emotional and blue myself. We will talk about the emotions. Lucy's been feeling good as a Pisces, and Erica has been feeling anxious as a Pisces. We will talk. Greg is also a Pisces with higher anxiety. Stephanie, we finally got rain 2 days ago after almost 3 months with no rain, and wasn't able to see the moon yet. Crazy that it came during the full moon. Yeah, I love it. So full moons, at any time we have a full moon, it represents the ending of a cycle. Full moons are a time of celebration, like, yay, we got here. It's a time of surrender. Thank you for these tools. They got me here. I'm going to release them and let them go. And it's also a time of closure, realizing that you've come to the end. You're going to wrap it up before you move on to the next thing. As the sun opposes the moon, that's what happens with the full moon, light is cast across the sky. And this can help illuminate aspects of a situation. Especially with the moon's energy in play, this can illuminate shadows and unseen aspects of things. And endings and illusions are also themes of Pisces, where the full moon is happening. Pisces is the 12th and final sign of the zodiac. So when we embody Pisces energy, when we get to Pisces energy, when we tap into Pisces energy, we've already been through all of the other steps of the zodiac. So Pisces energy is about using our intuition and our emotion to decipher what stays and what goes. Good morning, Yvonne. I love it. Anik, I've been feeling a little bit more balanced this week as a Virgo. I don't know why. Oh, I don't know why the male emoji, because it was an accident. Yeah, I wonder if you just need the sun in your sign to balance you out. So Pisces energy in general is amplified emotions. It is the mutable water sign. It's all about changing our emotions, using our emotions to change our incarnation. And the full moon amplifies emotions. The supermoon amplifies emotions. So we're like emotion, 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 emotion. So if you have been feeling stronger emotions, if you've been feeling new emotions, some things that you haven't felt before, things might be unfamiliar, you might be feeling mixed emotions, that could be this full moon in Pisces energy. I usually say that 2 days before the full moon and 2 days after is when this energy is the strongest. It might be a little bit longer and stronger because of the full or the supermoon aspect, how it's so close to us. To me, the blue moon is like, the Gregorian calendar is all made up. I think the moon should dictate the calendar. Anyway, so like the blue moon, I'm not going to talk about that because it doesn't resonate with me. But emotions can sometimes feel very, very painful, especially if they are painful feelings, right? If you've been given an unwanted emotion, such as fear, grief, sadness, anger, bitterness, right? To actually feel that emotion, it can be emotionally painful, mentally painful, and physically painful. And again, the full moon is already amplifying these emotions. The moon's energy is magnetic. So with the bigger magnet, you're going to have that bigger pull on our internal waters, our internal emotions. And the supermoon amplifies this because it's a closer orbit, closer proximity to us. This gives a more personal feel to these emotions. And Pisces uses emotions as like their favorite tool in their toolbox. Not to say like you have to be a Pisces to use your emotions. All of us have all 12 of the zodiac signs in us. Okay, so you have Pisces energy in you. So tap into that part of you that uses their emotions to learn. This is a time to listen to the energy within you. Stay with me. Emotions are energy in motion. So anything that causes you to sway energetically, emotionally, it's all the same. That is what is like your guiding light during this Pisces full moon. So I'm going to ask you 3 questions, and I'm going to pause for a second just so you can reflect. What has been causing you frustration? Feel free to let us know in the chat. Just lately, no specific time frame. What has been, where has your sadness been coming from? And maybe what are you holding resentment around? So the full moon in Pisces gives you the opportunity to feel those feelings more strongly. And this is an invitation to sit with it and ask what it's trying to tell you. Because emotions, especially the unwanted emotions, the painful emotions, I see them as toddlers. I see them as a toddler throwing a temper tantrum. And oh my gosh, I just called myself out because I've never actually dealt with a toddler having a temper tantrum. But the emotion wants to be heard. The emotion has something to say. The emotion might have a need, and it just wants to be heard. And if you keep shushing the toddler, if you keep pushing it aside, if you keep just putting an iPad in its face and telling it to shut up, the emotions don't go away. They just get suppressed and then they build up while they're hanging out down there. So if you sit with this uncomfortable emotion, this gives you the opportunity to then make choices regarding what stays and what goes. Full supermoon in Pisces. Likewise, joyful emotions are susceptible to being amplified as well. Not just the painful emotions. Those are just usually like the first ones that come to mind. So I wanted to allow you guys the time to process that for a second. And then let's tune into our joyful emotions, because all emotions are being affected by this Pisces full supermoon. So what brings you immense joy without having to force the joy? Like what makes you happy? What lights you up? Like what in your life makes you feel like you just shine when you're doing it? What excites you? Similarly, what are you finding yourself excited, looking forward to? Where you always like, oh, I can't wait to get to that. I can't wait to get to that part of my day. I can't, like I'm so looking forward to that. Same with the unwanted emotions during this Pisces supermoon. Feel that emotion. Feel the joy. Feel the gratitude. Feel the bliss. Feel the love. For me, just now, as I was trying to tap into that, I felt like tingles from my heart and they spread out down my arms. Like that's what that felt like for me right now. Feel that. Sit with it. And allow yourself to be with the joy, not to be overtaken by joy. That to me feels like manic energy when you're just acting out of like being overwhelmed with joy, We practice detaching from the unwanted emotions, but it's detachment from everything. You are not your emotion. You are not this joy. Be with it. Sit with it and learn from it. What is this joy trying to teach me? What is it in my life that's making me feel this immense bliss? And then make choices regarding what stays and what goes. Full moon energy. Full moon is about letting go, closing the cycle, moving on. So using your emotions to teach you what is ready to be passed away, what is ready to go. Thanks, Bonnie. To add a little bit more into the mix with today's full moon in Pisces, we have Saturn retrograde 4 degrees away from the moon. When planets are within 10 degrees, I call them conjunct. They are amplifying each other. Their energies play with each other. It's almost like they blend and morph into each other. So Saturn, the moon is at 7 degrees of Pisces. Saturn retrograde is a little bit behind at 3 degrees of Pisces. So as the moon is at its brightest, it's illuminating what's been hiding in the shadows. Saturn retrograde in Pisces has been inviting you to review your spiritual practice since about mid-June. I think June 17th is when Saturn stationed retrograde. So this time is giving us an opportunity to reflect on where your faith comes from. It's an invitation to mull over, to chew on your rituals, your spiritual practices. It's been a time of sitting with the question, are they serving you? Are they truly serving your highest good? Or are they obligatory? Are you doing it because your guru told you to do it? Are you doing it because it brought joy for someone else? The full moon illuminating the shadow side of Saturn. This can be illuminating where you may be forcing structure instead of flowing into structure. And this can be like a thin line. As I said that out loud, I felt guided to give you an example of forcing structure versus flowing into structure. And yeah, I guess not all structure, but I'm trying to think of my spiritual practices. I journal as often as I can. I pull tarot cards every morning. I do a gratitude list every morning, and I do a quick little recap just of what happened the day before. It's literally like 5 sentences of what happened the day before. So forcing that structure would look like starting it, doing it, losing interest, and doing it anyway because it's supposed to be good for you. That's forcing structure. That would be me forcing myself every day to journal for 20 minutes because that's what my oracle card told me to do, and I believed it and it felt right, and that was my intention when I first started journaling every day. But flowing into the structure is, I do all these practices. It takes me about an hour in my morning, 45 minutes to an hour, depending on what I do. Flowing into the structure looks like trying new things, doing them until they don't bring you joy anymore, and then keeping the practices that bring you joy. And the whole, like the journaling thing, like, yeah, I love journaling for 20 minutes, but some days I've already utilized my free time with my first practices, and I have to throw out the journal for that day. Forcing it is like, I have to do it. You know what I mean? It's okay to let things go. Capricorn can't tell the difference. All structure is good. Claudia says setting a structure but not doing it if you don't feel like doing it. And that, again, is like a thin line. And that's something that I'm working with because there's a lot of times that I don't feel like doing things. But I have, like big brother energies in my life that are telling me like, well, sometimes you just gotta do it if you don't want to do it. And here's little rebellious little sister Jacqui energy like, no, I don't want to do it. I'm not going to do it. It doesn't bring me joy. And I'm still playing with that dynamic. So I'm happy that you brought that up, Claudia. Knowing the difference between push and force. Thank you. Thank you. I'm imagining a shopping cart. You can push the shopping cart through the store, but if you have one with a wonky wheel, you're going to be forcing that thing, Sure, you can still force that shopping cart through the store, but wouldn't you rather swap it out for one that goes with ease? Thank you, Claudia. Lucy does a gratitude list every morning. Yeah, it's something I started years ago. I did it until it just didn't fit into my routine anymore. I put it aside and it came back. So this full moon in Pisces might be illuminating, giving you an opportunity to look at the shadow side of your spiritual routine. Not to say that like, oh, I'm not doing anything right and everything sucks and this is the worst thing and I'm never gonna be enlightened because I don't know how to do this right. Like, no, just have some self-love. Ask yourself calmly, is this practice really serving my highest good, I had a client once who would just come weekly for Reiki, like a chiropractor appointment. And it got to a point where I'm like, this is not how this works, at least with my style. Like, this isn't just like a scheduled, timely, like, all right, weekly clearing. It's more like when you need it, when you intuitively feel like you need it. So just something like that. It's okay to break the structure, like in Earth sign, Taurus, I really like repetitive stuff. I really like, just keeping to my routine. And for me, it can be scary to give up something that maybe doesn't bring me as much joy as it did when I started it, because I feel like I'm going to lose all my progress. But what it's actually doing is clearing out space for you to bring in another practice that might be even more exciting and fulfilling. So can't force a shopping cart through a checkout line full of people. You can. Another energy that came up thinking about the full moon illuminating the shadow side of Saturn retrograde in Pisces was the energy of self-righteousness. Believing that your practice is the right practice, and finding yourself judging those who don't practice or believe what you believe. I've had to check myself on that sometimes, For me, it comes from a place of love. I use my husband as an example all the time. Biker dude mechanic, right? He gets it, but he doesn't do it. And I catch myself all the time like, man, if he would just meditate for 10 minutes, his anxiety would go way down. But it's not his journey is not my journey, you know? I just love him for who he is, and I'm here to shine the light and guide the way through my example, and I'm here to do it while it feels good. You know what I'm saying? That's the self-righteousness energy. It can come from love, but just knowing that like your right isn't the world's right. What you do works for you, and that's awesome, and do what works for you. Keep doing what works for you. If you're asked, absolutely offer what you do, but it's not like time to preach and force everyone to follow the path that you follow. Is that what I'm doing here? Like, here, let me check myself right now. Am I forcing you guys to do what I'm doing? Am I saying that like you have to do it the way that I'm doing? You do you. That expression cracks me up, but I love it. It is. That's what it is. You do you. And you get to be appreciative enough of yourself to do what works for you and not feel like you're obligated to do what that person told you to do. Thank you, Lorena. Offering rather than telling. I love it. So this is a time to check yourself. This is a time, the moon and Saturn, all in Pisces energy, they're asking you to check yourself. Watch what emotions come up as you reflect on those themes of your spiritual practice. Just watch and learn. So we have 2 decks today. We're going to ask the first deck. Actually, I'll show you the deck first. So I got a new deck yesterday. It came in the mail. And it's so timely. So I don't know anything about this deck. I pulled 1 card yesterday to ask a question, and that's it. So it's a Moonology Messages Oracle card. Another Yasmin Boland deck. And it's interesting, she came up in one of my sessions recently, was Yasmin Boland. So we are going to ask this deck what energy is available to us during this Pisces full moon. And we'll see what this deck has to say. Oh, that's awesome, April. The full moon is just outside my balcony while you're talking. It just appeared. Brilliant, and yes, yes to the shadows. I love it. Yes, Jackie, I did. This is my quarterly Hay House subscription box. It's a dangerous habit, just saying. It can be a dangerous habit. You get 3 decks every 3 months. It's like $30, $40. I'm running out of space. Oh, you can't see. I have another shelf above. Yeah, but I need to put up more shelves for all my decks now. Oh, thank you, Jackie. Didn't want to spoil the surprise. Oh, but I thought you said you got the last box. Maggie feels like you're buzzing today. Have fun. Jennifer, I'm just about to show the card, or I'm just about to shuffle the first time, so you're right on time. Yeah, they are. They always have sales. I love it. Oh, that's cool. That's cool, Jackie. All right, guys, so please send your energy into this deck. We are asking a new deck, Moonology Messages. What energy is available to us during this Pisces full moon? If this is your first time with me, I'll let you know that I do group readings, and the readings are always just super spot on and on point. So the whole reading is for everyone, just surprise. However, I'm going to let 3 cards fall out of the deck, and then I'll show you the backs of the cards. So I'm going to show you the same image. Okay, you're going to see the same thing. But then I ask you to just tune into your environment and see what changes, if anything changes. Anything in your physical body, maybe like your stomach growls, or your eye twitches, or you have like an itch, or I don't know, whatever else can change. If you burp, or you sneeze, or you fart, or, you know, anything. If anything changes in your body, that could be your guide saying like, hey, that card has a little bit of a deeper meaning for you. Also, if your environment changes. So things like if you hear birds outside on a card, if a car drives by, if a cloud passes over the sun, you know, like whatever. If the ad starts playing on your YouTube channel, that has been affirming some client things lately. It's been fun. Amanda, hello. If a hurricane suddenly starts, Jennifer, sure, that could be, you know, a message. If a mosquito bites you, yeah, anything. If anything changes, that's the universe speaking to you. It happens differently for everyone, right? You do you. If you think it means something for you, then it means something for you. If someone else would shrug it off, F them. It's not their message. Hello, Eric. Very nice to see you. You always pop in just randomly. Hey, I'm Eric. See ya. Carrie says, sorry, I missed the first part of this. Thank you for the reminder. I record my sessions and I put them on my YouTube channel. So you can just search my name on YouTube, or you can click on my face on the bottom right-hand corner. My link tree is in the About section, and then a link to my YouTube is in there, as well as links for my website and all this stuff. Yeah. So I will show you the backs of the 3 cards, asking what energy is available to us during the Pisces full moon, and let us know if any of the cards are speaking to you more strongly than the others. So here is the back of card number 1. The back of card number 2. And the back of card number 3. Let us know if any of those are speaking to you more strongly. I'll show them again one more time, just in case. Here's the back of card number 1. The back of card number 2. And card number 3. If you're like, nothing happened, what the hell, Jacqui? The whole reading just has an equal amount of oomph for you. Let's see, Amanda's working with 3, Jennifer 2, Patty 2, Diane 2, Jacqui 1, got a text when you showed it, exactly. Fiorella 3, Bonnie 2, Lucy 2, Maggie 3, Kirthi 3, Eloise 3, Cindy 1, Wendy 3, Eric 3, Yvonne 2 and 3, Greg 3, Big Smile, Erica 2, Stephanie 2, Carrie 3, Ava 3, Melissa the Crow says 2 for me, oh, that's cool. Anique 2 and 3, Bonnie I think 3 will reveal a specific message. Yvonne and 1, you froze on 1. Amanda May 3, Chantel 1 and 2, Christine, my cat, came up to me on 2, Carmen 3, Amanda definitely 3, April 3, Maria 1 and 2, Linda 3, Anna 1 for me, Christina 3, Shauna 3, Diane affirmed twice, number 2 for sure, and pretty colored cards, can't wait to see what energy they bring. Same, this is the first time I'm using this, so I'm excited. Kim all 3, love it. Jean 2, Eric, your nails shined with pink for 3 each time, only 3, magic, interesting, they are not painted. I don't paint my nails. But that's cool. And interesting. Gina 2, Niski 2, Eric, excited to hear more about Morgan. I love it. Jody Cat on 2. Very cool. Wow, I flipped open the book and it is the card number 1. So this is already magical. Ugh. I get so excited. All right, so what energy is available to us during the Pisces full moon? I'm going to say this now. This is what the universe, our higher self, the moon, the sun, Saturn, this is what they're all telling us is available to us. It's up to us to choose how to use it. First card is Moonlight Serenade. Change your tune. You may need to change your tune. Have you been harping on and on about the same old thing? Is it time for you to change things up? Maybe you've been a little too frantic and it's time to slow things down. Stop and hear the music of the spheres, the planets. Could it be that you need to change your mind, have a change of heart, update your opinion? Is it time to choose love over fear? It's so easy to get stuck in particular ways of communicating. Maybe the person you need to get through to now will respond in a way that's more to your liking if you sing a different song. In other words, try a new tactic. Have you been obsessing? If so, stop and remember, as Dr. Wayne Dyer taught, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Make sure you're not being stubborn. Holding your ground sounds good, but there's nothing wrong with admitting when a new tactic is called for, and one may be called for now. Avanza spot on for me. Christine loves Dr. Wayne Dyer. This is, this feels like Saturn, like that Saturn energy, like giving up on holding on so tightly to whatever you've been holding on to, whether that's your opinion, your desired outcome for a situation, the way that you've been approaching a situation, and how beautiful with the full moon energy, especially in Pisces. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. It represents ego death. It represents letting go of what we've been hanging on to that's been keeping us safe. And you gotta let it go in order to bring in the next cycle of yourself, to step into the next level of yourself. A story that's coming up about this real quick, I promise, I love telling my stories. Our car went out last week. The transmission died. So we had to get a new car. And my husband rushed. He rushed the whole thing. He was so anxious that we wouldn't have transportation whatever, long story, it would have been fine, but he rushed. We bought a car that I'm not the biggest fan of. And then when he asked for my opinion, I told him, and then he got really like, oh man, I shouldn't have rushed this. Now we got this turd box and blah, 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 blah. And then he was like mad about it. And then he was like mad that he rushed because he didn't give himself time to find something that is like great. And it's just like a quick, we need transportation. So then the whole change your tune thing, we were talking about it the night after we bought it, and it flooded in my mind. Thank you, Dad. When I was younger, we always had to buy turd box cars because we didn't have a lot of money, and I used to treat the car like it was a turd box. And my dad said, if you start treating this car like it's the greatest thing, like it's your baby, like you're so happy to have this car, like it's the coolest car that you could ever ask for, clean it out, wash it, put that premium gas in it sometimes, like treat it like gold, the car suddenly turned into gold. So I was able to bring that back to my husband, and I explained it about this car, and we'll see what happens. But that's the energy of this. If you keep looking at the situation saying like, this situation sucks, I'm not supposed to be in this place, I'm not supposed to be in this job, I'm not supposed to be in this relationship, this is bringing me disharmony, you assign that. You assign that mindset to that situation. Anything has the potential to be anything. So change your tune, change the way that you approach it. Anna's a spot on for me too, although not what my ego wants to hear. Exactly. And sometimes, it's okay. It's okay to get rid of what the ego's trying to say. My dad was a smart man. Thanks, Christine. Morgan, full body shivers when you said bring in love, let go of fear. Oh, that feels like a letting go to me, like that fear moved itself through to be transmuted into love. Melissa, I do that to the van at work. Treat it like gold and with respect. If you decide it doesn't deserve your respect, then it's not gonna, it's a symbiotic relationship. Erica, I bought a car 4 years ago that I thought I'd keep for a year. 4 years later, loving that car and happy I got it. I love it. Treating something like gold can apply to people too, including oneself. Thank you, Carmina. Audra needed to hear this. I love it. And that was just card number 1. We got 2 more from this deck, and I got 1 more culminating card. All right, so what energy is available to us during the Pisces full moon? Card number 2, the moon's reflection, accept responsibility. As you move along the spiritual path, it becomes more and more important to accept responsibility for your own actions. The situation you find yourself in now is a reflection of either your current beliefs or your past behaviors. This card isn't meant to make you feel discouraged or guilty. Rather, it's meant to encourage you to ask, why did I create this situation? What about this situation is helping me? Once you find the courage to answer these questions, you'll start to see that you have more power than you ever knew. We are all creating our lives 24/7, and while you may not like the idea that everything happens for a reason, it really is possible to find a reason for nearly everything that happens. Try to see your current dilemma with that perspective. It'll show you why it's happening for you. If someone is bothering you now, realize that they are a mirror for you. Realize that your inner life is reflected in your outer life, and you are on the way to self-mastery. This was one of the hardest things for my ego to do, was to accept responsibility that I created all the things in my life that I wasn't a big fan of. But once I got over that, once I got past that, and I worked through the guilt of, putting myself in situations that I wasn't the biggest fan of, then I realized that I have full responsibility to make my life exactly what I do want. And it was huge. And this card is inviting us to do the same. The full moon especially illuminating those Saturn responsibility structure shadows. Like, what did you create? And why? This might be difficult to ask yourself why, detaching the emotion because of all this full moon energy. But the full moon is bringing us this invitation, so you can choose to take it now, and you can choose to hang on to this maybe if you are feeling a little sensitive, if you are feeling a little mushy, a little afraid to dive into what you did wrong, even though it's not wrong. Like sometimes if you're already hurt, it can be harder to go in and ask why. So perhaps give yourself some time before digging into why you created these situations. The image of that card is beautiful, Sharon. I do like it. It's very Gemini to me, but it's not. Jennifer needed to hear that. Eric loves it too. Beautiful and powerful. I wonder if card number 3 will bring it all together. I mean, that felt good, but not 100% for me. Audrey, this is a pre-release. I got this because I subscribe to the Hay House card deck stuff. It'll be out next month. Not affiliated with them, just saying. But it's the Moonology Messages Oracle. I highly recommend the card box. If you pull cards a lot, it's kind of worth it. Sun opposing Saturn. Ego versus our responsibility. Ooh. Yeah, Jean. They're going head on. The Sun, ego. Saturn, responsibility. But Saturn already is retrograde. Saturn's already reflecting on himself. And then the moon's right there illuminating like, Hey, did you reflect on this part that you don't like? Jacqui says there's a great Viktor Frankl quote along with this. What is life asking of me now? I love it. Love it, love it. Card 3 will bring it all together. What energy is available to us during the Pisces full moon? Card number 3 brings us the out of bounds moon. Boundaries. You don't say, Saturn. Saturn boundaries. It's time to take a full and honest inventory of your behavior in the recent past. Have you been going too far? Have you been acting out? Have you been allowing your emotions to get the better of you? If you know that you've been misbehaving emotionally, it's time to rein things in. Draw up some boundaries. As much as you might want to get your own way, sorry, that was choppy. As much as you might want to get your own way in the current situation, you also need to take other people into consideration. If someone has been overstepping the boundaries with you, it's time for you to let them know, gently but firmly. There is magic in the air when this card appears, but you mustn't let emotions overwhelm you. You could be about to receive what feels like a miracle, but you need to behave in a way that is supportive of everybody involved. Spending time alone in meditation now will really help you understand what your best move is next. When emotions spiral, you can often chase away the very thing you want to attract. I like that. When the emotions spiral, you can often chase away the very thing you want to attract. Ugh, that hit hard. Just saw a bald eagle, Eric. Of course you did. Of course you just saw. Oh my goodness. Stephanie, thanks for bringing that up. There's 3 people on card 3. There are 2 people on card 2. And there was 1 person on card 1. Magic, magic, magic. This full moon is, oh my gosh. Okay, so these emotions are coming up because, especially if they're related to someone else and what other people are giving to you, what other people are doing towards you, how other people are acting towards you. Boundaries is coming up for me as well. Yesterday my friend was over and we asked each other, what would you tell me if you were in my shoes? And what she told me was it's okay to stand your ground. It's okay to have boundaries, even if you think that it's not best for the other person. Sometimes with boundaries, they get crossed because of compassion. My experience. Sometimes I have a hard time setting boundaries for myself because I feel so compassionate about what the other person is going through. And my inner child wound comes out where I was going through something and I wasn't shown compassion. So pretty much what I'm doing is giving up my own, sense of self for the other because I'm not setting firm boundaries. Emotions can teach you where your boundaries might need to be strengthened and affirmed, but it doesn't need to be aggressive. One of my boundaries right now is my morning time, my journaling time, my 45 minutes to an hour in my little space. I go to different dimensions when I'm just with myself exploring this. And there have been opportunities lately for me to set my boundaries when people wanted my time at that time. And it was uncomfortable, but it teaches other people how to treat you. If you have no boundaries, if you're open all the time and you're always giving, always doing for the other, always giving, that can be ultra light. It's about balance. It's not about 100% giving. It's not about 100% taking, pointing at my yin yang. Okay, there's a balance, and the boundary line is in the middle. Setting boundaries soothes the other person when your boundaries are clear, other people know how far they can go, and they don't have to wonder like, oh, is this gonna be okay? Can I get that from this person? And if it's a no and they can't handle it, that's an opportunity for them to learn. And boundaries are best served, in my opinion, when they are for you. Setting a boundary saying like, I cannot handle blah, 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 blah. Boundaries are not, you can't do this. Unhealthy boundaries telling other people what to do. Healthy boundaries explaining how your life needs to be. So whatever emotions are coming up, maybe they're pointing you to a boundary that needs to be reaffirmed. Yep, I needed this card, and I love your downloads, Jackie. Thank you, Christine. Jean, in the end, every card resonates deeply. Emotions, thanks for the insights. Thank you. We have one more deck. I'm going to pull one more card from one more deck, but I'm going to do a little bit of a recap. Excuse me. I like this. I like this. I always like this. So, what energy is available to us during the Pisces full moon? Keeping in mind the description that I gave at the beginning of this session. If you missed it, hop on YouTube, type in my name. It'll be up in a couple hours. Oh, Christine, we released at the same time. Christine burped when I did. All right, so this full moon is helping us change our tune. What energy are we bringing to the situation? How are we viewing the situation? How are we acting towards the situation? Whatever the situation is, we created it. Yay! We are in full control of our lives, right? Except that whatever issue you're having, you created it. Sorry, but it's true. Maybe you created it because you didn't give strong enough boundaries. Because you didn't tell the universe where your line is, you know? And also the first step to creating boundaries is to figuring out what you want. That can be difficult. Yeah, especially for like empathic people, which most people are. I think most people that are like coming to events like this, we're empathic. We can feel other people's stuff. Very compassionate. We can, feel other people's stuff. But it's okay to be number one. You're the main character in your own story, so it's okay. Just keep the balance, Are you always taking? Probably not. It's okay to take sometimes. Are you always giving? Balance it. Balance it. I'm gonna pull one more card, and this is just gonna be a message from our higher self. Love it. Pisces is the I don't want to say the most evolved or like enlightened because that's ranking, but Pisces has been through the whole thing. Pisces has like been there, done that energy. What are my feelings trying to tell me about everything that I've done? So just asking for a message from our higher self, our superconscious. And we are going to use Work Your Light for this. Jennifer, we are the most evolved. I can't speak to that because I'm not a Pisces. Please send your energy into this deck, asking, oh, I like that, Jackie. My eye twitched when you held up that deck. Send your energy into this deck, asking just for a message from our higher self regarding this full moon in Pisces. If you guys have been enjoying today's session, if you'd like to offer an energy exchange, donations are always greatly appreciated, never expected. But if you'd like to offer your energy in other ways, you can follow me on Insight Timer. You can you can click on my face on the bottom right-hand corner. All sorts of fun things to click on in that Insight Timer profile. There's a link to my group. The group on Insight Timer is called Our Spiritual Community. That's a place where Bonnie takes the card descriptions and writes out little blurbs for you guys to remember what we talked about. So thank you, Bonnie, for doing that. It's a place just for you to do extra digestion, because I know a lot can come out, and then sometimes you want to go back and reflect. Also, in that Insight Timer profile, you can click on the About section. That is where you can find my Linktree, which, if you don't know what Linktree is, because it took me a long time to learn what it is, it's pretty much a website that has all of my links on it, because I'm all over the place, and it's just a consolidating. It's the Saturn energy of the internet. So Linktree will give you links to my YouTube channel, where you can watch the full replays of these. My TikTok is there, my Facebook is there, my a button to subscribe to my email list is there. My website, where I offer donation-based readings, card readings, Akashic record readings, astrology chart readings, and healing energy sessions. So yeah, just check me out. I do work donation-based when it's a one-on-one, just like a one-off situation. They're donation-based. And then if you want information about my coaching, I do offer coaching 3-month packages. That information comes through my email list. So, tuning into a message from our higher self regarding this Pisces full moon. What are our emotions trying to tell us? Thank you. Thank you, Jacqui, for your donation. Very much appreciated. You ready for this? This is a good one. It's always a good one. Higher self says take a break. A life's work, not a season. Get off the treadmill. It is okay to take a break and enjoy your creations. To take a moment from your busy schedule. To get off the treadmill of life. To appreciate and acknowledge all that you have created, achieved, released, or experienced before rushing on to the next thing. To be in the moment and enjoy where you are. To take a breath and regather your mind, body, and spirit. To recalibrate, appreciate, and celebrate. To decide on what you really want to experience next. If you take a moment, you are not going to miss out. Perhaps you have just completed a big project, manifested something significant in your life, released an old way of being, or just been burning the candle at both ends. Now is the time to take some time out before rushing on to the next thing. You did it. Enjoy yourself and recalibrate. Go on vacation, book a massage, take long walks in nature, go away for a rejuvenating weekend to recharge and replenish. Take a break and a breath. I love it. This is just the higher self saying, like, you've been doing a really good job. You've been doing it. It's okay to pause. I believe that our society teaches us that taking breaks equals laziness. It's not true. This card also, it's not just about taking a break to like slow your energy, to slow the production. This card really talked about celebrating what you've created, enjoying what you've brought into your life, accepting responsibility. Okay, like this, I took this reading kind of in like a negative emotional way. Okay, sorry Pisces, that's just what it feels like to me. But this card is like, you can take responsibility for all the wonderful things in your life. What brings you joy? You made that. You brought that into your life. You called that into your life. You created that. Reflect on it. Be proud of yourself for it. What's interesting is this is the last card that I pulled before I'm going away for some time. It's very rare It has been rare that I travel. I'm working on it. But my husband and his sister and I are taking a weekend, not even weekend, a midweek trip. And we're just going to go spend a couple nights, have some fun, do some water park stuff. But reflecting on the fact that you called in everything in your life, being proud of yourself for using the mind to bring in new mindsets, using the heart to be grateful for what you've been creating. What I did this morning, I did my journal thing, and I just set all my intentions for this trip and everything that I'm excited to receive, everything that I'm excited to feel, everything that I'm excited to leave at home. And then I took some time and I reflected on like, wow, this is what I'm choosing to do before my vacation. Like 10 years ago, Jacqui wouldn't have sat down and said, this is what I intend for my vacation. I would have like expected certain things to happen. And when they didn't happen, I'd be a brat about it. But instead, I've been working so much on my mindset. I've been working so much on my feelings of gratitude and appreciation that I'm sitting down already thanking the universe for having a wonderful break. Yeah, what comes up for you guys about taking a break? Oh, and also, mega retrograde season right now. Mega retrograde. 7 planets plus Chiron, 6 planets. I can't remember. It's a big number. It's the majority of the sky. Everything, sun and moon do not retrograde. So they're out of the question. Jupiter and Mars right now are the only planets moving direct. Everything else, all the other major planets are retrograde. The universe is screaming for you to take a break. Slow down. Reflect. Review. Greg, recalibrate really resonates for me. I love that. Yeah, and this is like, thank you for the retrograde. Like, thank you for the opportunity that we don't have to force forward. We don't have to like plow through. I'm seeing an ox pulling the plow on his shoulders. Like, we don't have to keep going forward. The universe is like, here's a retrograde season. Here's a bunch of retrograde energy. Shh. What you've been working for. Is that what you want still? It's okay if it's not. We can course correct. Something really good. Thank you very much, Anik and Christine. I love it. Does this happen often with the planets? Stephanie, for the last while, yes, the second half of the year is retrograde slowdown. And then the beginning of the year, we have forward, and then the second half of the year has been slowdown. To give myself credit for where I am now. Here's a concrete practice that you can do that I recently did, and it was really nice. So, all right, here we go. Let's bring it full circle because that's what Jacqui's really good at. Pisces full supermoon, using your emotions to get some clues on what's ready to be surrendered. What have you been worrying about? What has been bringing you sadness? What have you been anxious about? What have you been sad about? Like, what is bringing up the biggest unwanted emotion in your life right now? In body astrology, people, this is where your analyzation can come in. Take that. Write a letter to... Okay, wait, pause, one more step. Think about where that started. Like, when was the first time you can remember feeling that feeling of not having enough or not being able enough, not doing enough, not being enough? When was the first time that you can have a concrete memory of feeling that way? Sit your butt down, pen and paper, no computer, pen and paper. You can do whatever you want. Write a letter to that version of yourself. Write a letter to them, telling them everything that you have now. Speak to yourself in that time, and you'll be amazed at how good you feel about yourself. I did that with, I did that with my like 18-year-old self when she was just moving out of the house and she was learning how to be on her own 2 feet, and she was coming out of this like poverty consciousness household, starting her own life, thinking it's going to be bare bones for her whole life, thinking that it's cute that she has to buy things at the dollar store, like, oh, that's just me, that's just what I do, it's okay. And I wrote a letter to her and I told her, like, you own a house, you run your own business, you have a great husband. And it was just so nice to like reassure her that it's not going to be like that forever, because those feelings still come up because she isn't satisfied yet. Like, she hasn't been heard, understood, validated. So her feelings are still a part of me. So I still have those, like, it's cute that I'm, dollar store queen, which is fine, but it's like the I think I've said too much. Let's see, I'm going to read a couple of your comments and then it's time for me to skedaddle. Sarah, maybe these are my emotions that I couldn't feel or see due to all of my emotions and feelings being stored away due to filtering everyone's energy around me. Maybe it's time to hermit. Maybe it's time to just sit with yourself. It's okay to get your own things figured out, because if you don't have yourself figured out, how are you going to figure out other people's stuff? Wade, I have felt a bit desperate for some recharging time. For me, that's usually somewhere out in nature. Then take it. If that's what you want, make it. Recharge has been my theme this summer, Stephanie. That was my intention. Recalibrate and realign is what I'm moving into. I love it. Sarah's shaking. I love it. For me, Anik, the transition is back to school. Change of season, change of staff and pace at work, and getting excited to carve out some time to focus on Reiki and other healing interests. And I'm done with one catering client that was a vampire. Reflect. Reflect on what you learned from working with those unwanted situations. Kirthi, this is my first session with you and I wholeheartedly connected to it. Thank you. Feeling rejuvenated and the messages were spot on. Beautiful. Thank you, Jennifer, for sending hugs to my little Jacqui. Have you sent hugs to your little Jennifer? Thank you. Love the letter idea, Lorna. It was really nice to find a deeper feeling of gratitude for the things that I am grateful for. Like, I do practice gratitude, but it was a different angle of seeing the gratitude. So, when will I be back? I'll be back on Monday and Thursday next week, the 4th and the 7th. Always at 8:15 Central Time. This is my time. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for sharing all of your energy. Thank you for all the donations that came through. I hope that this reading and the astrology description in the beginning help you digest a little bit deeper of what this full super blue moon in Pisces is all about. I'll throw the session up on my YouTube channel for you to rewatch, and I will be Bonnie will be putting the card descriptions in our spiritual community, the group on Insight Timer, so join there if you want to recap. But that's it. That's it. Listen to your emotions. Accept your emotions. Just see what they have to teach you. Melissa says, for days now, the thought of a cozy corner has come to mind. A place to unwind in my small space. This all fits. Yeah, listen to your emotions. If you are desiring that cozy place, give it to yourself. Create it for yourself. Thank you, Ani. Great to be with you today, too. Jacqui, great time this morning. Happy super blue moon, friends. Namaste. Have a fun trip, Jacqui. Thank you. I'm very much looking forward to just playing. That's my intention for this trip. Play. I've been very work, business, Saturn structure. It's time to play. Time to reset, reflect, and change my ways, Carrie. Thank you. Thank you, Anik. Sending love to all. Namaste. I will see you on Monday and Thursday next week. Play, 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 Sarah. Blessings, Jody. Thank you, Lori. Lorna says the sun is coming out now. Be well, Greg. Thank you, guys.